Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. This is video 1 of my Winter Fairies project. This is a Sweet Pea Papers project, not a design team project. Now, I'm going to go through just a very few pages of this kit. It's a Victoria Designs kit. It's a new kit, so you should be able to get it, or you will be able to get it now. I've gotten the deluxe kit, which comes with a separate junk journal kit. Well, I guess I should be turning through these pages real quick. The reason I'm not going to show you the whole kit or whatever is because Victoria Designs on their YouTube channel has a complete and total flip through. So, but I just wanted to show you a few pages because it's so beautiful. Anyway, I lost track of what I was talking about. We'll be doing a hardcover journal, and we'll be going step by step. I'm not sure how many videos it's going to be. I've got several spots set aside, quite a few actually, set aside for this, just in case we go over. Oh, all right, I'll just skip a page. Here's a writing page. Now, these are in order that they are in the kit. I just trimmed the papers. These are the version with the borders so that it would be easier to do the images, the papers, in the size that leaves us a little bit of a border around when we use an 8.5 by 11 folded in half. We're going to be trimming off some of that 8.5 as well. What else was I going to say? We're going to have probably 2 signatures of 8 of the kit pages, then 4 coffee dyed pages that will have ephemera from the kit on them, and little collages and things like that. And these are the portrait pages. Here's our backing page, one of them. And another. This is the one that I put on the back of every one of the other pages. The the landscape pages, so that we would have a writing space on each one. I put it on the back of all of these too, I believe. Or there's 50-50. 50-50 is what I did on the landscape pages with one of the other backing papers, both of which are ones that you can write on. These are just gorgeous papers, and yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to use the portrait pages. I'm pretty sure that I might just print them 2 to a page, 2 5x7s, and use them as writing cards. So that's a possibility. I was talking about printing the papers. I printed there's 3 sets in the kit. One is the kit with no borders that you can print out borderless and have no border at all to trim. I trimmed every one of these papers. The other ones have a little bit of a big border, and that's the one that I printed. Then I love this one. And then the I can't talk and flip at the same time, apparently. Oh, and the third set is the small set. I believe they're 4x6, something like that. 4x7, possibly, I think, when you fold it in half. Okay, so here I'm just flipping through. I'm grabbing a bunch at a time. This one was a miscut. It's crooked, so I labeled it to be used just as a writing card. Now, here's some of the ephemera. And we'll be using this on the coffee dyed paper, the writing pages and some of the pages that give us some space to decorate. Now, there's several file folders, and I printed those pages differently on the back so that the insides of the file folders would have more of an interest page than just the backing page, the regular backing page. So, yeah, so I'll be using that for that. This is the ephemera that I would definitely have some of the items to use as writing cards. So or tags. And so I put the different pages on the backs of those, which is going to be these. I don't know how I managed to print that on the back of one. Probably a mistake. It might just be one that's got a file folder on it. Okay, so this gives you a general idea of what's in here. Some nice ephemera. And I'll be cutting all this out with my Scan and Cut. It's got dark enough borders, yay, that I'll be able to cut them all out. And most of the ephemera has a tan border around it, which a lot of times my Scan and Cut will ignore, which is great because it just cuts it out right at the ephemera. All right, so that's our quick flip through, and then we're going to get started. We're going to make the cover and all in the last video before the flip through. And, yeah, and so we'll do that then. So I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to cut out all this ephemera, yay, and probably cut these in half. So then I'll have 48 pages because there's 24 pages in the kit. So if you are someone that just folds them in half and you print them double-sided, my printer, for some reason, when I put them on double-sided, prints one side right side up and one side upside down. I have no idea why. I can do double-sided, but I have to take them out, you know what I mean, and put them right back in. Yeah. So if you're one of those people, then you'll have 24 pages to fold in half. You'll have 20 of the portrait pages, and I believe 10 pages of ephemera. Usually it's a little bit more, but this one doesn't have quite as much. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to put you guys on hold, or actually I'm going to stop this video, come back with a second video, and put them together as part one. All right, I'll see you in just one sec. Hi, I'm back. My voice cracked. Hi. So this is part two, obviously, of video one. And I just wanted to show you real quick what I ended up with. I added this white ribbon. This is 1/4 inch ribbon, I believe. Yeah, 1/4 inch by a bazillion. I accidentally bought this big one on Amazon, but it was still only like $7. Then I got these at Dollar Tree. There's big ones that go along with them, but I put my fussy cuts in this one and my words in this one. Then I have the rest of my ephemera in here. So I have the little tiny circles and whatever in there. I have the small ephemera in here. And then I have the larger ephemera in the pockets, the tags, and the stripes or strips in here. Now these are supposed to come apart, and I'm thinking of cutting them apart here and here and making a little foldable because I printed on the back. Uh-oh. See? And I printed on the back of those. I didn't print on the back of this because I knew I was gonna put it on a page. Okay, everything else is printed on the back. All right, so I just wanted to show you that real quick. That's my little system. Now, we also, let me get my measurements over here. I also cut the pages in half, so that gave me 48 pages to choose from. Okay. Then I folded in half 2 white pieces of cardstock. This 65-pound. I buy the brand Neenah, N-E-E-N-A-H, and I get the vellum finish. Now, of course, obviously this isn't vellum, but it feels like vellum. So you're going to fold 2 pieces in half. You're going to number the pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And normally you would put a piece of coffee dyed paper in here, but that really doesn't match the rest of our theme. So we're going to put a piece of white typewriter paper in. And I think I mentioned that we're using speckled egg, and all of this, the white paper included, the thinner paper needs to be inked. Actually, yes, it's very, very light, so I think it would look nice. We're going to ink all of this in speckled egg. Okay. So now we're going to go on to page 1. I came up with this little crazy thing, and we'll see if it's going to work. I'm not really sure. I forgot which way it goes. This is my prototype. Now, I've got these measurements written down. As you can see, this one came out a little crooked. But I'm not really sure if that's what I used over here. I think I cut a little bit off one end, 1/8 of an inch or so to make it work. Somehow I came out with the top one being a little bit longer. So what we're going to do is we're going to score it. Oh, this is a 10.5 by 6. Now remember, I cut it like 1/8 off of this one to make it work. So 10.5 by 6 inches tall, because we're going to put it, this is the paper. I've cut and inked the paper, obviously. Then I made this small enough that it fit between this mushroom and then being able to put a word up there at the top. This is going to be the page 1. So we're going to close this with a ribbon. We'll make it a little bit prettier, and it's going to be thicker. So we're going to have magnets as well, I think. I don't want it to pop open when you take the ribbon off. This is almost like an envelope stack, but it's really a trifold with a gusset. So we're going to score at 3.5. Then we're going to score at 7. Then we're going to score at 7 1/8. And that gives us our little gusset. And it also makes this one a little shorter so that you can fold this over without it being caught on there. Then you're going to flip them around so that the longer one is on top. And so that means you're going to turn it that way. Don't ask me why. I just figured the measurements out that way because it was easier. It was easier to figure out where to score by going from the 3.5 inch side. Okay, so we're going to do one more part as well, and that's what the gusset's for. But let me have a drink of pop here. Maybe my voice won't crack. But the original measurements and everything are the same. So we can put this to the side for now. And we can put our prototype to the side. Now I've pre-scored and folded and inked this to those measurements, minus 1/8 on the long side so it didn't stick out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this paper guess I do want to score this in case it shows. I mean, ink this on this side of the... on the side that you're putting underneath, because you might see this little edge. on both sides. So let's ink it up. Then when you ink this, you want to ink both sides of the gusset as well. Okay? So we're going to glue this on the side with the gusset, and that's what the gusset is for, is because this is going to have some thickness to it, and we don't want it to stick out. Now, it could be a little bit bigger than this. This I cut 3.5 inches, and I scored it at 1/2 inch and folded it over. Now, you could cut this at 4 inches. That would give you 3.5. I think that would work. How big is this? Should be, it's a little less than 3.5. It's 3 3/8. It's probably why I had that problem folding. I must have put the gusset on the wrong side of the 7. What was I going to say? You can make this piece a little bit longer if you want it to go over a little bit further. What is the deal with that cut? Okay. So, a little piece of fuzz sticking out. I don't know why. Okay, so we're going to glue this in here. And I filled my glue. Now, let me tell you a secret. When you're using these bottles, you want to open the big bottle of Fabri-Tac at the one that corresponds to here. Don't cut the tip off. Open it up. Fill your, open this up. Fill your glue. Put Vaseline around on the threads and then close it. Put Vaseline around the threads of the big bottle and then put the lid back on, and then it won't glue itself shut. It's like magic. That's my tip for the day. I could have put the paper on, or got the paper and then glued this to the paper for the center. Either way will work. You're not going to see this. That's the whole point. And of course you want it to be even vertically up and down as well. Okay, so let's make sure this is all going to close. Let's get our maybe the gusset ends up on this side. So you're going to glue it to the right side. And then make sure none of the glue has come through and stuck to here, which is what happened to me. If I hadn't checked it, I would have glued it down. So let's see now. Yes, that's the way it goes. So we didn't need to flip it over. Go figure. Now all we have left to do is paper all these sides, and I haven't decided what I'm going to use. I can't find the 2 papers I was going to use for the cover. So let's find a paper. I like this one because it's going to be on the front. There's a little teeny bit of white there. There we go. Alright, so now let's mark this. I'm not going to do all of them with you because there's no need. But let's do this first one. We're going to leave a little bit of a border. And that will be our speckled egg border that you have to ink all of this. So all the way around, all the gussets, everything, or the gusset, both sides. What is my deal this morning? I think it's because I'm hungry. And so we have this nice piece. And we also have this piece that we could use as pockets or something in this section. This here would make a nice side tuck. That would be pretty. And this is longer. So you could, we're going to add a belly band and a pocket and different things. See, we want this to fold inside the gusset. How did this end up a little bit crooked? Ow. I still have my burn. Be careful when you're getting pizza out of the oven. That's all I have to say. There we go in our little gusset. So we need to ink this. And you'll notice that you do see it along this light edge. But it's mostly to get the white off the edges. And we're going to have to paper the pages like this on all the sides. Now, you're going to want to keep in mind where you're going to put pockets and things like that. You don't want to cover up the pretty, but you don't want it to be just blank for most of it. You can put a writing page in. We're also going to make a couple of pockets, things like that. So we're going to glue this on here. And it's the front, so we might add a fussy cut to it and not leave it as a writing space. And since we know for sure this is going to be page 1, then we will be able to put it in the book. Okay. Now, I think, even though it's going to be tied down, I think we need a magnet on this. So let's do that. And then you're going to paper the rest of the pages. I'm going to do it off camera. That will save us some time. That's what happens when you put the reverse polarity. Put it back far enough that your paper won't be wrinkled up. I've been getting ready to add my PDFs to my new Ko-Fi page, and then also to my Buy Me a Coffee. For those of you who are not members of the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, and you can get it for free there, then I put a lot of work into those, but you never get back your time or whatever. So they won't be very much. The big giant books, you know, will be about $5 for the PDF, and then the rest will be less than that. But anyway, you can go over there. My Linktree link will take you there. You know, you just go there and all the links are there. And then the text under the video has the Linktree link, the Ko-Fi link, because I also offer one-to-one tutorials. I mean, you know, tutoring. And then it also has the Amazon wish list if you want to, you know, contribute materials towards making these videos. And that's much appreciated because these are free videos. So I pay for all my own paper and glue and all that stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to paper all these sides. This side, this side, this side, this side, this side, and this side. Okay, obviously you don't have to worry about the back. Then we'll put a ribbon on the back. And then we'll put our pockets and stuff on here. Okay? Okay, so I will see you in just 1 second. Back again. Okay, this is what I did. I papered this, or we did that already. And then I papered the rest of these. Now, the challenge is that there's no real pictures in the center. They're all down the sides. So they're all basically writing pages. So you're going to have to decide what you're going to do. I found this one. It's in the corner. But I found that one for there. This one I'm going to leave as a writing page. And I believe this one too. And then you open this up. In fact, I think I'll leave that as a writing page. So I'll put something on this one. Let's see, that needs to have just a smidge cut off. Let's see if I got it right. Having a lot of trouble with the paper trimmer with these smaller pieces because it has this big wide guard. Anything under 2 inches is really hard to get lined up just at all. The blade on this is nice, but I'm getting very frustrated cutting papers. They're great. It's great for longer cuts, you know, like when I trimmed these. But for these, I'm sure there are people that are very proficient on it. Let's ink this. And I think we should put the flowers down here. See, that's crooked. Okay. Okay, so let's ink it. And you'll find the longer you ink with this, when it's new, of course, you get more on your pad. And so you get a little more ink on your paper, which is fine because it's so light. And I really like it against these colors. This is the color, I don't know if I mentioned it, I probably did, that Tenna used in her, she makes a little mini album, a little bitty one. I think it's like 4x6 out of this kit. And yeah, the papers worked well for that. And so maybe if we had done a small trifold where we could use a lot of the corner images on smaller squares, maybe I would have been better off, but that's okay. It's pretty. Pretty. And I can use the backs of the scraps too, because I've printed a couple of the different backing papers on the back. And then I'll make a little card for that. And I put a pocket on here. It has icicles, kind of like that. So I think I'm definitely going to leave this as a writing spot. This is an image spot. There's really no room on here. Unless you want to cover this up. But I already have a side tuck here. I could put an acetate belly band on there or an acetate pocket. So I think I'll do that. Here's one that's the right width. Yeah, we just cut the height. And trim off the red spots from where I've marked it before for cutting. Let's do that first. Okay. I'll get into that. We're just not going to talk about that little red dot. I've decided it is not worth my time. I think I'm going to take a little bit off the width. And just glue the top and bottom, if I can see them. Oh, I did that crooked too. I think maybe it's me then. Maybe it's not the paper trimmer. Maybe it's me. It's just going to be narrow. That's all. Okay, so now we still have our image. I have the feeling we're going to be using a lot of acetate in this project, because the paper is so beautiful, you don't want to cover it up. All right, so we have a belly band here. We have a side tuck here. We have writing space there. We have a side belly band there. And we have a pretty page right there. Okay, I'm calling this section done. All right, now the thing is, do we want to, I put Winter Fairies there. We're going to put it over here. Do we still want to put the ribbon on it? And I think we do, and I'll tell you why. Because even though we don't need it because of the magnets, I think that it would make it look pretty. Now, the question now is, do we put it just around this or around the whole page? And I'm thinking we put it just around this. Let me get my ribbon. I don't know why I keep putting it back in this plastic bag. The bag is very annoying. Okay. Always need extra to tie with. Okay, so you just put it in the middle, put some glue, stick the ribbon on there. And I'm going to stick a piece of tape. That'll hold it till our glue dries, or the two of them together make a better seal. I stuck my finger in the glue. Oh, it's lower. Okay, sorry about that if you could see the top of my head. Okay, and we'll tie this. Look at that, it isn't long enough for a bow, really. No, it is barely. That's good. That actually worked out well. Okay. Barely. It barely worked out well. So I'll untie it and go back and finish up. I'll put the cards in. May have to print the tag pages out more than once to get through this. I wanted to put a butterfly on the front above the fairy, but you don't really have one in the kit. So if I can find a purple butterfly, I'd really like to put it there. Okay. Now we want to put it under this little point. Next to the mushrooms. All right then. Okay. And that's going to be our page. Now we're going to go to the next one. Once I finish the cards and stuff, then I'll glue it on to page 1. Now, we're not necessarily going to glue each one on right when we do it. I always like to wait and see how thick the pages are in what area, and then that is helpful to me if I need to move a page. That's why we're going to label them left and right, so we know whether they have to go on a left-hand page, a right-hand page, or any page. This is going to have to go on a left-hand page, like this. And I almost want to put it on page 1, but no. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, oh darn it, and what got on here? Oh, we're going to cut that off anyway. Yeah, we need to cut this off. We want to cut it off I'm just wondering, I think we might want to see that. Either that or we have to cover it all up. And cut it here. Let's cut it here and then take a look. We can always cut it shorter. Now this has been sprayed with the sparkly. Okay. I just cut it upside down. Apparently I'm not supposed to be doing this today. It's okay. Just glue it back and then cut a little bit off the other end. Not that big of a deal. Just going to make the page a little shorter than we were going to make it. Excuse me. I should have had this done. So we've cut it for a top pocket. knew I saw something. There's that little teeny piece. It's what was left of the flap when I cut this off. Okay. Doesn't matter about this. Almost done. Let's do this real quick, just in case we see a little bit of it. It's kind of funny spraying these envelopes to make them sparkly. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, and when you do the back, you need to spray them with this open so that everything is sparkly. The overlap is not missed. The same when you're doing with ink or whatever, but then flip it back down for it to dry. Okay, so now we're going to put this on here. I want to do it from the bottom. So I think if we do it from the bottom and then when we close it, nope, see part of it. Let's do it in the center. Now we're going to take, what in the world? Oh, I moved it. There's ink everywhere. And I just scraped this all off with my razor blade too. Now we're going to take the smaller one that I forgot to ink as well. And we're going to glue it this way, and we're going to cut it for a top pocket. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark where we want it to fold. I want it to fold right there. So I want to fold it. So I want to score it right there. Score! I don't watch soccer. I just see the guy yell score on TV. You have to be careful. These are not thick papers, so you don't want to tear them. Okay, so it's going to go this way. Okay. So then we're going to glue it on like this. Thought maybe it would be too thick, but I think it'll be fine. I don't think we'll have to, you know, cut the notch off that. So we're going to cut it in, not in half, but we're going to cut about a third off the top. Okay, and we cut the envelope side, the opening side off. That way you don't have to glue again. For goodness sake. It keeps wanting to go crooked. Okay, so now we're going to glue this. And then we want to make sure that we glue it on the paper right side up, which is the pocket side up. You probably figured that though. So here's our pocket. We're gonna ink it. Which we could have inked all but that. We could have actually inked that as well once we had glued it on. But just so we can say, quote unquote, we remembered to do it ahead of time. It wasn't very smart. And if you want to, you can paper inside here. You can run a piece of paper along the inside right here, which I may actually do. All right, now I don't want this in the middle. I'm not sure if I want it down quite that far. Okay. Then I will, we will put the magnets on so we don't forget. Sorry I'm not talking more. I'm a little frustrated with the paper. Yeah, that moved. Okay. So now all you have to do is paper this front and back and add your cards. One here and one here, and then your page is done. When you open this up, you know, you can add a pocket. I would suggest a belly band so you don't have too many layers built up behind this. Why don't I paper this and then come back? This, when you paper it, will seal that shut. You don't want to take a chance on getting glue down here, or you don't want to glue it here, because then your pocket will only be this wide. Okay? If you wanted to, you could make this a side tuck by gluing it here and then putting something in there. Alright, so I'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to paper these. I'm going to paper mine as a top pocket, and then this will be a top pocket as well. Okay, I'll be right back. I got the papers covered, and this is acetate. No kidding, right? See-through paper that she moves out of the way. Anyway, this is what I did here. I went ahead and put this little pocket on because I didn't want to lose this little scrap that came out when I was cutting the paper. And then on the back I put this, and I put this little fairy here. And I'm thinking that we might put some sort of a feature up here. I'm not sure what. Maybe a frame, you know, cut something out with my Big Shot, and then put an image inside the frame, something like that. I'm not sure, and we're pretty much out of time for this video. In fact, we've run over. So if I decide to do something, we'll do it real quick at the beginning of video 2. And then I just put this here because she was playing a musical instrument. And so I put these fairies that had the musical instruments down the side. I'm going to leave this as a writing space. And then I don't want to leave this as a writing space as well. And I'm thinking of putting another little matching pocket on the inside here that we can tuck something into. So that's where my thoughts are at right now. I've got this acetate because I'm going to go ahead between this video and video 2 and put an acetate pocket on here. And then I'm going to have to pick out a paper that I can trim down and put into the pocket as a writing card. So that's where we're at right now, and we'll pick up next time, and then we'll get this finished. And I keep saying I'm so sorry. So I will see you next time in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.